Hey everyone's JackelWolf back in Skyfactory 4 with another 5 minutes. That's how I did it. Now, if you've been following along, you know that we are working our way through the advancement book. Last episode, we did not do a particular advancement, though. What we did was that we took all of the ores that we gathered from the Lost Cities and the Twilight Forest dimensions, and we turned them into Resource Hogs. You can see those guys behind me right now. The reason for this is that there are no sapling equivalent method of production for those ores. Resource Hogs are probably one of the easiest ways of mass producing them in your world, though. So we did that with a very, very simple resource farm, and I need my glitch helmet on so I can fly. We did that using a controlled miner, which is basically taking all of these truffles. We can kind of keep an eye on that one right there. It is mining them up, turning them into loose blocks or loose floating items, and then our item collector over here is collecting them up, and there's that wood stair from when I broke it down below. So what we want to do this episode is we want to take all of these truffles here. As they are, as truffles, they are not very useful. If we go and take a look at the recipes, basically truffles can only be used to make the item that they are. So you've got 4 magnesium truffles will make some magnesium dust, or a truffle or magnesium truffle will make some molten magnesium. That is really the only thing that you can do with them. So as truffles, they are not very useful, but the magnesium dust itself, it can be used in a lot of different ways, or at least a couple of different recipes. This one, magnesium, might not have been the best example, but some of these are more useful than others. But we really don't want to store them as truffles. They're just going to take up more space, and when I do need them, I'm going to need to produce them into some other stuff anyways. So it makes more sense for us to process them right away rather than try and store them like this. So what I've done is I've set up a little bit of an area down here for us to process the truffles into their particular item. So we looked at the magnesium. 4 magnesium truffles makes that magnesium dust. To do that, what we're going to do is we are going to go to the advancement book and we're going to go and work on this package control. That is to craft and use an auto packager to auto craft. In this case, it says amber and other select blocks. Realistically, we can use this to package, anything that uses one item in the crafting recipe. So we'll get into that in a moment. To make a packager, it is simply 4 light blue dye, 2 furnaces, and 2 crafting stations. That makes you a packager. And you can see we've got that advancement down below. The packager is very, very similar in a way to the auto crafter, but they function quite a bit different, and you probably want to use them for different stuff. The auto crafter is great when you've got a position sensitive crafting recipe. So to make this gold amber, I need 5 gold resin in that X, along with 4 gold acorns in that sort of diamond shape. If this is different in any way, you do not get that output. So very, very position sensitive stuff. That's what you want to use an auto crafter for. The packager is much more simple in that basically, we saw the recipe up above. It was 4 a truffle makes whatever it is that truffle. It'll make the resource of that truffle. So anytime I get 4 of the same truffle in here, the packager will automatically turn that into its corresponding item. The other nice thing about the packager is you can have multiple inputs going on at the same time, and I could have 3 of everything in here. As soon as I hit that 4th one, at least for the truffles, it's going to go and take those 4 and turn it into its requisite item. So it cannot do complex recipes though. So that is the downside of the packager. The upside is that it does really simple stuff really, really easy, and it can do multiple ones at the same time. So what we're going to need to do first is let's go up and grab a sample up here. I'm going to go and I'm going to grab the boron, because actually that is something we're going to need to use in the upcoming episode. So I might as well get that one set up down here, and almost missed my level. So what we're going to do is we need to go and get those truffles into our system. To do that, we're going to need some simple storage cables. First off, we're going to need a storage import cable. I've done these before, so I'm not going to spend too much time on them, but a storage import cable is a hopper and 4 storage cables. We're going to take that storage import cable. We're going to come over here. Again, Creative Flight is so great. I love this glitch suit. To do this, now if I right click on here, I'm going to open up that item collector. So I'm going to hit shift and really quickly place that block down. And then we're going to go and we're going to make that connection with that storage cable. And I can do that right there without having to worry about falling, not to my doom, but falling through the world. So this storage import cable is going to take all of the items in that item collector and pull it into my simple storage network. It is not doing it right now because it defaults to a whitelist, and until I put anything specific in here, it doesn't know what to pull out. So that is good because we're going to want to set up our little packager over here. And before I forget, that is in the wrong spot. But once we start pulling in truffles into our simple storage network, we're going to need a export cable to export it into the packager. So to make a export cable, it is a piston and 4 storage cables. So we're going to go take this here, we're going to go and place that up. If I open this up, we're now presented with another whitelist area. This is going to be very important because you need to tell it what it wants to pull in. It will not just pull random items from your storage system. You definitely need to tell it what it needs to deal with. So we're going to place that one there. We're going to come back over to our... our import cable here. I'm going to open this up and we've got the whitelist on. I'm going to take this truffle. Now, this is something you've got to keep in mind. I'm going to place the truffle here. We're going to go open up that item collector and you can see it's actually pulling the lithium. Now, this does not happen with all items. Truffles, for whatever reason, in Skyfactory 4, every truffle, the simple storage network at least sees it all as the same. It doesn't matter what the type is. You can see this is a type boron. It was pulling the type lithium. It is not type specific. One way, if you absolutely want to organize your simple storage network when it comes to things like these truffles, you can hit these. You got the OR dictionary and the NBT. I know from testing, if I turn that NBT on, I go put that boron truffle back in there and I go look up here, it will start pulling just the boron from here. One other thing, and this will be a problem if you're not paying attention, if I try and say take that lithium now, if we were to try and, with this NBT off, if we were trying to take that lithium and put another truffle in there, you can see it doesn't accept it. It thinks that you've already got the truffle in here. Why are you trying to put the second truffle? Again, with that NBT on, we can go and we can whitelist that lithium now. So this will be pulling all of the lithium from the item collector as well as all of the boron. I don't know where. Oh, there's that. That's why it disappeared from my inventory. I didn't drop it. It got picked up by the item collector, which is good. That's what we want it to do. So it's pulling boron, it's pulling lithium into our system. We're going to come back over here. Now, one thing to keep in mind, again, over here, this is going to pull all truffles. If you want it to be very specific, you can hit that NBT and keep it to only pulling the truffles that you want. Ultimately, I don't think we really care. I think we just want it to pull as all the truffles in our system. I don't know where the cobblestone... Oh, you know what? This probably pulled it from my simple storage because I do have a cobblestone hog as well. So, like I said, if you want it to be very, very specific, throw on that NBT and it's going to make a big, big difference. So, as you can see, we've got a bunch of boron dust here. We got a bunch of lithium dust. Our next step is to get it out of the packager and into a proper storage area. This will fill up really, really quickly. What we want is a storage that's going to be a little bit better. Again, I don't want it going into sort of my random item chests. I want to build, something similar to what I was doing with these shipping containers. That's keeping things very, very organized. But I've already done shipping containers. What I want to do is I want to go and look at the filing cabinets. They are another method of storage that has its own, perks and its own benefits. There isn't really a specific advancement towards the filing cabinets, which is one reason we haven't really looked at them yet. The only thing in Skyfactory 4 advancement book is this going on your permanent record advancement, which is to fill one of these file folders with 1 million items. So I should have started this quite a while ago because it is going to take a lot of time to build that one up. But you know what? We are where we are. We're going to start it right now. So to make a filing cabinet, it is any storage block and 8 pieces of iron bars. That gets you a filing cabinet. We're also going to need a bunch of filing folders. To make a filing folder, it is simply 5 pieces of paper in a L shape in a crafting table. It gets you 8 empty file folders. Before we do anything else, we're going to want to go and actually I need to grab this out of here. So we'll grab some of that boron dust. We're going to go back here. We're going to take the file folder and we're going to go take the boron dust. As you can see, it is now a file folder with 1 boron dust in there. That one will represent, exactly how many, items you have in that file folder. Again, going back to the truffles and that MBT option, you cannot make a file folder with a truffle. There is a way to upgrade a file folder, but I don't think you can do it in survival. I messed around with it a little bit. There's one item in there, which is like a creative potion that I don't think is actually craftable. So I think it is a creative only item. If you can figure out a way to do that, let me know down in the comments below. If you can make, let's just look at this really quickly at real. It is these MBT folders. I tested it in creative. You can make truffle folders out of them, but it requires this uncraftable potion. That's what it was called. And I can't bring up a recipe for it, so I don't know how you get it. Maybe it's a drop in the game. I'm not too sure, but it could just be that it's a creative thing as well. I'm not going to worry about it because we really don't want a storage of these truffles. We want basically that storage. We want these truffles to be turned into something usable rather than just sit in our inventory as something that we can't use for anything. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to take that boron dust. We got the file folder. The boron dust gets us 1 filing folder with 1 boron. So we're going to take the file cabinet. We're going to go and place it right here with an empty hand. You cannot interact with it with a non-empty hand, but with an empty hand, you can open it up. You can take your file folder, you can put it in, you can take your file, or you can close it, you can open it back up again, you can take that file, to take the file out, it is a shift right click. I keep forgetting about that. We put the file back in, we can close it. The filing cabinet will show you what is in there. You can see up at the top, it is 1 boron dust. But we want to now get all of these items that are being produced in here out of the packager into the the correct filing folder. So to do that, we are going to need another one of these simple storage import cables. So we're going to import the items from the packager, and then what we want to do is we're going to need a simple storage link cable, and that is going to be a chest. 4 storage cables will get us a storage link cable. This will allow us to add items to the storage and pull items out, whereas the import and the export cables are pretty much just one way. It either pulls it out or pushes it in. The storage ones will allow you to do both. So if I need to pull this item out, I can pull it through my simple storage, or if one gets pushed into my simple storage network, it will go to the right place. Now what you can do is we got to go and connect this down, and keep in mind right now this is not actually connected up to my storage network, so it does not, these are not proper pipes until it actually gets connected to your controller, which is actually all up there. So to make sure this works properly, we're going to go and make a connection up into the other piping that goes all the way up to the actual controllers and stuff like that. So if you are having trouble with it, make sure you've got a separate connection outside of just this input and output, because this is technically broken. There's nothing sort of connecting the two between. One other thing we've got to do is we're gonna have to go and start whitelisting this stuff. So I've got a boron dust. We're gonna go take the boron dust out of the packager. We're gonna come up to the simple storage import cable, whitelist as the boron dust, and then down here with the storage network, we want to whitelist boron dust again. And if we come down here, you can see it is taking all of that boron dust already out of the packager and is put it into that filing cabinet, or that filing cabinet in that filing folder. We can go, and actually we can manually add this stuff as well. This is my filing cabinet with my boron dust. Right click, just like a crate or something like that. You can see it is gone into that file folder. We can open it up. You can see there is that file. We can close it. Also, if we didn't have this connection up here, we wouldn't be able to pull out those items. So we go take boron. There is our boron dust. So I can take that out. I can craft with it. I can, put it into my world, however I need to use it. But there it is, easy access for me. So that is going to be it for this one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you guys did this a little bit differently. I would love to hear how you guys approach this problem, how you guys solved it. But if you enjoyed this video, please think about leaving a like and a subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at JackelWolf. Also, check out the description below. There will be a link to my Discord page, as well as a link to my Patreon page. Patreons get their name listed at the end of all of my videos, as well as early access to videos and a bunch of other perks. But that is it. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.